Hello everyone. We will discuss today the 10 programmatic advertising interview questions for programmatic advertising aspirants. So this will help the people who are trying for new avenues for programmatic advertising, as well as those people who are already working in programmatic advertising, and they will have their knowledge refreshed regarding some of the pertinent questions which I have curated for the advertising programmatic advertising basically. So let's start with the first question. So first question is, why impression discrepancies occur in Google Ad Manager report and third-party server report while comparing reports of third-party tracking. So some valid reasons of discrepancy are that publishers have not placed the click tracker and impression trackers properly in the creative setting under Google Ad Manager. So the discrepancies occur, so publishers need to cross check whether the click tracker and the impression trackers given by the third party ad third party agency or the ad agency or advertiser has been placed properly in the creative settings or not. And the second reason is the absence of cacheibusters in click macros provided by the advertiser or ad agency. So the advertiser or the ad agency has to ensure that the cacheibusters are enabled under click macros so that proper impression tracking happens at both places, under Google Ad Manager also and under the third party ad server also. Second is, what is macro, how does it work? So macros are basically special strings in creative code. Ad Manager later replaces this string with another value or code based on creative settings. Macros are useful because you don't have to directly update creative code. If you need to make changes, you can update the macro reference. For each macro, we have provided suggestion on how you might do, but macros can be put to whatever uses are most valuable for you. Macros can be included in code that's processed by the ad server during delivery, third party or custom creative code, studio code, click through URLs or ad tags. Ad Manager inserts macros automatically for third party creatives or VAST tags, that video ad serving template tag URLs, if Ad Manager recognizes the third party. For custom creatives and creative templates, you need to add the macros manually. If you are unsure where to place a macro, contact your creative vendor. When trafficking with a creative template, a click through URL input will only be present when a click macro is used in the template. Then how does cachebusters work? So cachebuster is a unique piece of code that prevents a browser from reusing an ad it has already seen and cached or saved to a temporary memory file. The cachebuster macro ensures that a fresh call is made to the ad server every time the code is executed, so you can count impressions accurately. If you don't add the cache busting macro to creative code, you are more likely to see impression counting discrepancies between Google Ad Manager and third party ad server. Cache busting typically involves adding a random number of generator to your ad tags, also known as cache busters. This process is the same for all ads on all devices, including mobile and non-mobile delivery. Why cache buster is required? A cache buster is a unique piece of code that prevents a browser from using it has already seen and cached. So cachebuster doesn't stop a browser from caching the file, it just prevents it from reusing it. In most cases, this is accomplished with nothing more than a random number inserted into the ad tag on each page load. The random number makes every ad call look unique to the browser and therefore prevents it from associating the tag with a cache file or forcing new call to the ad server. Cache busting maximizes the publisher inventory, keeps the value and meaning of an impression constant, and helps minimize discrepancies between publisher and marketer delivery reports. That's why cachebuster is important. What if cachebuster macro is not implemented? So it will result in impression discrepancy as already discussed in publisher report and advertiser records. If you are having an issue with third party discrepancies where the publisher number are much higher than the advertiser numbers, the first thing you should check is that a cachebuster is in place and working. And then one of the question is, what is the difference between VAST and VPAID? So VAST stands for video ad serving template. Simply put it is an XML script developed by the IAB, the most popular ad standard. VAST creates a communication link between the ad server and the video player, but it doesn't just stop at serving and monetizing video ads. VAST can also provide insight into the performance of the ads it's serving. Metrics such as how the viewer interacts with the ad can help stakeholders measure an ad's performance. As of this writing, VAST is at version 4.1. VPAID stands for Video Player Ad Serving Interface. Definition: it's an ad template with a focus on delivering inline creatives to video players. VPAID inherits the IAB communication standard for delivery and third-party video players when layered with VAST. Like VAST, the video player must support the VPAID standards for ads to be displayed. VPAID places an emphasis on interactivity, and as such its metrics are considered more accurate and reliable than VAST. As of this time of writing, VPAID 2.0 is the most recent release. A major release 2.0 introduced support for playback, JavaScript and HTML5 creatives, among other things. What is brand safety? How does it work? So brand safety measures are designed to protect a brand's online reputation by restricting it from associating with negative and inappropriate content. Brand safety is in the eye of the beholder. It all depends on what is or is not appropriate for the brand. For example, an R-rated action film might have different standard than a baby product company. There are many organizations working towards defining brand safety measures. We have organizations like the IAB and Media Rating Council. These trade associations, along with vendors and specialize in brand safety together, define standards and best practices for publishers, advertisers and agencies to follow in order to maintain a healthy supply chain. They provide the framework to ensure that the publisher's inventory is viewable, follows privacy guidelines and adheres to the placement best practices. Similarly, for advertisers, they have authenticity of brand and restricted content for ads guidelines. When it comes to individual brands, both publishers and advertisers are free to build their own brand safety measures on top of what's provided by these organizations, and most do. For instance, a recipe website would not want ads of other recipe sites like competitive sites to appear on its pages. So the publisher can add a filter to block these competitors. Based on the adopted standards, advertisers often create and maintain a list of keywords that they would like to avoid while running their ad campaigns. What is audience integration and segmentation? Audience segmentation is a marketing strategy based on identifying subgroups within the target audience in order to deliver more tailored messaging and build stronger connections. The subgroups can be based on demographics such as geographic location, gender identity, age, ethnicity, income, or level of formal education. Subgroups can also be based on behavior such as purchasing history. Psychographics come into play when you have access to insights into your audience personality, types, values, attitudes, and beliefs. An example is creating separate segments for people based on whether they are family oriented versus individualistic versus followers, or adventure seekers versus homebodies. Many first-time marketers create uniform messaging and distribute it widely to save time. Audience segmentation, however, uses a more refined approach, enabling you to organize contacts to smaller groups so you can give them what they really want. Process of audience the pixel implementation. So this is from Google Ad Manager. So you have to, for each element, you have to follow these steps. Create a display placement with 1:1 pixel dimension. The placement should be created in Campaign Manager 360 for the site which has the element you want to track. Add a display creative with an image asset. Upload a transparent 1:1 pixel GIF JPG as your image asset. Your new creative will automatically be used to create the default ad that is assigned to 1:1 pixel placement in your campaign. Note that you only need to do this step once per campaign. The default ad will automatically be assigned to any new 1:1 pixel placement you create. Create a click tracker ad in your campaign. Assign the click tracker to the placement you created. Generate tags for placement. Export standard tags, click tags. And these steps should be followed. So these are the basic questions which I have included, and this is the last one. What is the what are the auction models in programmatic advertising? This is a basic question but an important question. There are 4 main types of auction include preferred deals, private marketplace auctions, open auction or real-time bidding, and programmatic guaranteed deals. Hope you like these 10 questions. We will be back with another 10 questions. So as of now, watch this video and give your feedback. Thank you very much.